Welcome to the Impact 1 Million podcast, the epicenter of transformative conversation. Every episode, we sit down with the luminaries, the trailblazers, and the global game changers, diving deep into the minds of those who touch not just thousands, but millions. These are the thinkers, the innovators, the world shapers. Through their stories, their insights, their challenges, we uncover the ripples of influence that have cascaded into waves of global impact. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a journey of discovery, inspiration, and empowerment. Here, every conversation isn't just heard. It reverberates, it resonates, it makes a difference. So, my friend, prepare to be enlightened, inspired, and challenged as together we create an impact 1 million at a time. I'm your host, Shar. All right, everyone, today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Ziad Abdelnour. He's the founder, president, and CEO of Black Hawk Partners. It's a private family office in the business of originating, structuring, and acting as equity investor in strategic corporate investments. This gentleman has accolades a mile long. So rather than read through them all, I don't want to waste time on this show. I actually want to bring him straight on so we can dive straight into this interview today. Ziad, welcome to our show today.
Thank you, Shar. I'm glad to be here.
Very excited to speak with you. So as you know, I heard you on another podcast with JT recently, and I loved the way that you called a spade, as we say in Australia. And I felt like I wanted to reach out and have you on our show so that we can talk about some things that are happening in the world. Before we do, just for people that may not have heard your name yet, do you mind just diving in and telling us a little bit about your background, how you got started, and how you sort of got to where you are today?
Well, let me set the record straight from the beginning. I'm not a coach, a management consultant, or a make you feel good salesman. And I'm not here to sell you anything or to sugarcoat it. If you want real talk to someone who's been battle tested in the brutal trenches of high finance, you've come to the right place. They
Love
call
that.
me, excuse me?
No, I love that. I love that you set the tone because, and you said battle tested. That's exactly what we need to create an impact. We need people that have lived it. Please go on.
They call me an apex predator, a wolverine, because I'm cunning, relentless, and not afraid to bare my teeth and eat the strong and weak alike. This is not a game, life for the meek or the faint of heart. If you can't handle the heat, get the hell out of my kitchen. Now, for those made of steel, grab a drink and let's get started.
Perfect. Okay, let's dive in. Tell us, how did this all get started? Where did this zest for life and tenacity come from, Ziad?
Well, you know, I hail from a tiny country called Lebanon. Who I'm sure you heard about it lately in the news.
Of course.
Lebanon has one of the largest diasporas in the world. There's 20 million people of Lebanese descent who live outside the country, including Australia. Most of them live in Brazil, but there is a large community in the US. We're mostly entrepreneurs. And very successful, very hardworking, and very much working together. It's not the Lebanon you hear in the news. My homeland is actually occupied by a bunch of thugs. The Lebanese that you really know are extremely successful, extremely hardworking, and they don't take shit from no one. You see, in the States or in Brazil, you had two past residents who are Lebanese. In the States, everywhere, on Wall Street, in Silicon Valley, in DC, in Congress, you have people of Lebanese descent. So I guess it's in my DNA. You know, you have it or you don't. Now, the circumstances makes you either rebel and even be more successful, or be a nice guy. You know, for over 20 years, I've crushed the competitors and made a fortune wheeling and dealing in everything, from crypto to commercial real estate to you name it, oil and gas, private equity, everything. Now, I can go into details, but before that, let me tell you, I clawed my way to the top in world financial leadership with brains, balls, guts, wit, and a white, heart-burning compulsion to claim the crown. The crown. Now, basically, what I want to do, I've reached a point whereby I want to empower millions of people, the world around, to wake the fuck up, be independent, create wealth, because wealth is about freedom. It's not about acquiring things. Oh, I bought my yacht, my jet, my Lamborghini, my house. This is bullshit. Because once you have this, it doesn't mean anything. It's about freedom. Freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, to tell the governments worldwide to fuck off, to tell your congressman, your senator that he works for you, you don't work for him, and to go and fuck off. This is what it is. It's power, it's freedom. You can say whatever you want. You're not going to be afraid of being canceled by this idiot who's a guy half your age because he doesn't like what you're saying or because he feels frustrated. And I'm addressing this a lot also to the Australians, because with what happened lately with the governments, they act like if they own the country. They don't own shit. They work for the government. They work for you. They are in public service. And the same thing happens in the US everywhere. So stop this victimology. Oh, you know, God doesn't want this. I'm in deep shit. What do I do? I'm lost. I'm scared. Stop this. Wake the fuck up and take control of your life. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do that, somebody is going to take control of your life.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Ziad. I love that, because we've given over time, and I don't know if it was, I think it's something that's happened slowly over time, and I'd love your thoughts on this. It wasn't one day where everyone said, right, I'm going to give my power away to someone else, but slowly over time, we've allowed other people to be a louder voice in our head than ourselves. And so you have a very strong voice and a very strong mind, and clearly have achieved some exceptional things, not just wealth creation, but in business and, you know, with other businesses and real estate, and as you said, crypto. And so what tips can you give our listeners today? How do people who may have given their power away to other people, what's some advice? How do they get it back? How do they make their voice stronger? I mean, turn off the news would be one idea, but what ideas do you have?
Well, there are a lot of pieces of advice I would give. Number one, you're going to have to hustle like your life depends on it, because it does. Winners have an amazing work ethic and unrelenting drive. As they say, fortunes favor the bold, but you've got to push in the sweat equity. So that's one idea. The other one, you know, you become the average of the 6 people closest to you. So if they are dumb fucks, you're going to be a dumb fuck. If they are winners, if they are billionaires, it's going to rub on you. So surround yourself with killers, with people with that same attitude, and they will rub on you. And you know what? It takes a few committed people to change the world and to change things. So if you're in the right circle with the killers around you and people who think like this, winners, you're going to go very far. Choose you don't choose your parents. You don't choose, but choose your friends and your close circle very, very well and vet them. Another thing I would advise is get obsessed with self-mastery. You know, to really achieve greatness, you must become excellent. You must always push the limit. Most of the people, 99% of the people, don't test their limits. They're happy with where they are. I'm happy camper. I have a roof on top of my head. I should be happy. I have a dog. I have things. That's fine. This is not life. You're here to live once. There is no rehearsal. You either kill it, make a shitload of money, say whatever you want, write books, empower people, wake up this generation, or you're nothing. You're just dust in the wind. Who the fuck cares about your feelings? Nobody cares about your feelings, especially when you are nobody. This is not a feel-good thing. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to basically create an army of millionaires and billionaires who think like this all over the world. Because when you create this, you change the world. It's not the quantity. It is the quality and excellence of the people who thrive towards that. They don't teach you this in school. Of course not. Or in college. Of course not. Because they want fucking robots to basically do what they tell them to do. Put the mask, stay at home, don't go here, don't go there, eat this, don't eat that. That's control. All governments are interested in is money, power, and control. Whatever they can do, they can invest climate change bullshit and all this fucking bullshit they're creating to take your money, to keep you in control, to keep you locked in, put your mask, believe in this, woke culture, cancel culture, all that fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. So stop being, attracted by this because the government says that. They say that because they have an agenda. That's all it is.
Yes, I love that.
Don't just follow the herd. Lead it. Stop being a follower. Stop being a sheep. Stop being, this is really what I say. I say to this, to my kids, to my friends, and believe me, I made a lot of change. A lot of people have changed. The world is waking up. We're not a bunch of fucking fools here.
Yeah.
Listen to their bullshit.
Yeah.
Be very opportunistic and be ruthless about it. Ruthless. Look, people today, if they are ruthless or if they're capitalists, or if they're for wealth creation and for freedom, they tell them, oh, this is not how you should be. And who the fuck are they to tell me how I should be? Who the fuck are they? They're nobodies. They are salaried employees and teachers who know shit, liberal assholes who know nothing, and who basically want to indoctrinate you. Well, my job is to indoctrinate the others to wake them up. It's exactly the reverse.
Love that. That's brilliant.
Enough this indoctrination shit. Yeah, he said that, and people are so impressed by style, not substance. Oh, this woman is attractive. She must be smart. Oh, this guy, I like his tie or his hair. I'm going to vote for him. People are so fucking stupid looking at the style rather than the substance. They never vet anyone, then they vote for them. Then they come and complain, why did I vote for him? I mean, you have to embrace risk. You have to ignore the naysayers, the losers. You have to master the dark art of deal making. Everything is negotiable. Everything, anything. Nothing is set on stone. Whoever says it, you have to develop a killer instinct. You have to thrive on change, not be afraid of change. This is extremely important. A lot of people are afraid of change. They're happy in their status quo, in their mediocrity, and going nowhere. And you have to stay hungry and humble. My father used to tell me always, power does not roar. It is silent. Even if you make it big time, don't show like all these idiots. Oh, I'm strong, I'm powerful. No, never show your power. Just act upon it.
Wow, that's a powerful statement.
I mean, look, now if you're a dumb ass good for nothing and cannot grasp on any of what I'm saying to you, then do yourself a big favor and get married to a similar dumb ass billionaire's girl or guy and have your kids memorize these rules. This is what it is. Nobody is here for you. Nobody's here to help you. Nobody cares about you. Remember that. Nobody cares other than your parents. Nobody wants you to be successful, so you have to prove them all wrong. Even sometimes your parents don't want you to be that successful because you would have outgrown them and you would be dangerous. Be dangerous. And you have to be dangerous. You have to apply these tactics. You cannot be dangerous by being normal. Normal bores me to death. If you're normal, you're nothing. You're dust in the wind. You comply. It's all you're afraid what people are going to think about you. Who the fuck cares what they think?
Yes, that's so
as
true.
long as you're happy.
Yes, and that's, with social media now, it's enhanced, hasn't it, Ziad? Because now everything's on social media, and so people are often scared to put out their real thoughts and say what they mean.
It's unbelievable. For example, it's unbelievable. When I write a blog, a lot of people say, I love what you're writing, it's so refreshing, but they cannot put a like or a comment because if they do that, their boss is going to be upset. This is pathetic.
Yeah.
This is slavery. Slavery.
Wow. And then Ziad, like many people view billionaires as people like that, individuals that have cracked this code to wealth creation, right? From your perspective, what are some of the most misunderstood principles of wealth generation?
Look, true wealth is not measured in money or status or power. It's measured in the legacy we leave behind for those we love and those we inspire. That's the essence of it all.
Wow.
I mean, only the bold innovators who shatter conventions get statues built of them.
Correct.
So, go forth and earn yours.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And how do these principles though, like how do they differ from someone who might be aiming to create millions of dollars versus billions of dollars? What's the difference?
Well, the one who wants to earn billions of dollars, number one, he surrounds himself with like-minded people. Nobody can be a billionaire by himself. You have to have the right team. Teams win. Nobody ever made such money without having the right inner circle around him.
Yes.
Those people are people who read a lot, who have a lot of critical thinking. If you go with the flow, you're like a dead fish going with the flow.
Yes.
You're going to be thinking. You have to have a critical thinking. You have to read, and to do that, you have to read a lot. You have to interact with the right people. You have to work very hard, very smart, not just very hard. You have to be able to leverage other people's money, resources, and time aggressively. You have to subtly market yourself and your capabilities. You have to be top of mind, so you get the call first when lucrative opportunities arrive. You have to master soft influence. You have to read one book, which I memorized it pretty much, which I read it a long time ago. And it's very good. It's called The 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
I think the author is a guy by the name of Richard Green or Robert Green, something like that. The 48 Laws of Power. Okay. You have to be curious. You have to be very curious, very much controversial, maverick, contrarian, a critical thinker, a networker. It's a lot of things. It's not one thing.
No.
And this develops, over the years. A lot of people think, they're going to do a deal and they're going to be billionaires. Doesn't work like this. Overnight success is 15 years.
Yes, correct. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And it's Robert Greene. Anyone listening, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Thank you. We'll add the link into the show notes as well. And Ziad, it's funny you talk about books and legacy and impact and so on. We're actually producing a coffee table book at the moment that we're traveling the world for and inviting people that are living a life of impact, because books, we learn so much from books, and we want this to be a book that carries through the generations where people can pick it up and lean into the mindset of people like yourself and others around the world. And Gabby Bernstein, I don't know if you know her, she's a multiple New York Times bestseller. She was at an event I was at last weekend, and I grabbed the mic, and I wasn't planning on telling her about it, but I asked in front of 500 people, how would I get someone like yourself to endorse the book? And in front of everyone, she said, you just did, I'll endorse it. Where in your life, like there would have been moments where you've got to have this courage to do things outside of your comfort zone. Tell us some situations, because I'm sure there's been failures and challenges. Like no one can create the wealth and business you have without that. Share an experience of when you were faced with those challenges. What is the mindset? What do you do? Do you ring your network of people in your inner circle, as you mentioned before, that are surrounding you to get advice? Like, what do you do to get through that?
Look, number one, it has to do a lot with your DNA. Are you a rebel or not? I'm a rebel. I don't like the status quo. I don't say why, I say why not. I like to challenge the status quo. I like to challenge the establishment. They're fat, dumb, and happy. Most of them, they don't know shit. They don't have any education. They brainwash people with their bullshit. You either have this instinct that you can recognize this and vet people or not. You have to be a good judge of people. It all revolves around people. Whether you're doing a deal, whether you're doing a trade, whether you're picking people to be part of your team, etc. People are very much fooled by others. They don't pay attention. They don't listen. They basically want to keep talking. They don't listen to you. There are very few listeners. A lot of people talking, and most of the time telling you about their problems and looking at the negative side of things. Negative, everything. And then it becomes a habit. Everything is negative. Everything is downside. Everything is that, oh, how can you say this? Oh, how can you challenge this? Oh, you're
how
crazy.
Can you not?
When they tell me I'm crazy, when they tell me I'm crazy, I'm telling them I'm not crazy enough. Wait and see.
Yes, exactly. How can you not challenge it? How can you just accept something that's being
Most
said?
people are not confrontational. They don't like, they're not confrontational. They like to back off rather than confront. Oh, because they want to have a lot of friends, so they collect their friends.
So it's people pleasing. It's a sickness. Yeah, it's people pleasing, right? So yeah, it's people pleasing.
Yeah, they always think, what are other people are going to say?
Yeah, like, why does it matter? Some of these people they're worried about, they don't even know. I get stuff online all the time. You know, I'm Indian. I was supposed to be married at 16, engaged from 11. I have no formal qualifications. And sometimes I'll put something up there because I've created quite a nice little life and business for myself and my family. And they'll say, but you don't even know what you're talking about. You didn't go finish high school. You didn't. What has that got to do with anything? I've still achieved it. Just because I don't have the formal education, it hasn't
because they want to put you down. Because they want to put you down.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all power and control, right? It makes them feel better. But we have the option to delete and block. If you could summarize or define impact, Ziad, how would you define impact?
Look, I mean, impact is when you can change an outcome. You know, you remind me of the quote of Machiavelli, Niccolo Machiavelli, the prince, you know.
Yes.
One of the smartest guys or philosophers who ever existed. If you read his book, The Prince, he said, one of the most challenging things in the world is to change the order of things. That's the most difficult job. Everybody who tried to change the order of things excelled and went into the history books as somebody exceptional. People don't like to deal with the people who like to change the order of things. Why should it be like this? Why the world order is like this? Why can I change it to that? You have to push the envelope as to whatever industry or space you are in. You have to change the order of things for the better, to empower more people, to make more money, to make a difference. If you don't even try to do that, you will never become wealthy. You will never become wealthy. You will never go in the history books. Look at all the people who change the order of things, like Winston Churchill, like, I mean, etc. I mean, they change the order of things. Without these people, the world will be static.
Correct.
It changes. I mean, even Jesus Christ, look at how he changed the order of things.
Exactly.
So you have to seek here, what in my niche, how can I change the order of things? Not how can I get a fucking job. Anybody can get a job.
No, and then it's not about how I can buy that new handbag or that flashy car. That's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with it. It's about how do we make an impact? How do we change something? How do we, if we believe in something so much, what are we willing to give up? It's like us, my husband, daughter, and I are traveling. We've left everything and everyone behind to produce this coffee table book and documentary. We're willing to give that up because we believe that it's going to be such a historic product, right? So, Ziad, do you believe that a person's net worth reflects the value of their net work?
Well, no, it's not a question of value. It's a question of being able to do things. I'll give you an example. It's to be able to do things that the average people can do. When you have $1 in your pocket, you're poor. Yes. So you're going to comply to everything that people will tell you. You cannot resist. The only way you resist, which is the worst way to resist, is by doing some terrorism shit, which doesn't work. Because you have nothing to lose. So you lose your life, you risk your life because you don't have any money, you don't have any power, you don't have any resources, you don't have any control. That's terrible. When you have $1 million in your pocket, for example, or 10 million or $1 billion, whatever, now you have a lot to lose by doing stupid things. Mm-hmm. You want to multiply this net worth. You want to make a difference. So you will do the right things. You will do everything to guard your money and increase it tenfold, 100-fold. You will read a lot. You will connect with the right people. You have a purpose. You live for a purpose. Most people live their lives without a purpose. Why are you living? To eat, sleep, and what? I mean, why are you living? To have a job, to have a roof on top of your head, to have a couple of kids with no education or very little education because you don't have the means. You have no freedom, no opinion, no critical thinking, no nothing. People don't even know why they're living, and
it's fair to say that just because you're alive, it doesn't mean you're living. Maybe you're just existing and literally waiting to die, right? Exactly.
Your life is worth as much as the life of a dog.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're not living just because you're alive, right? Just you might have a heartbeat. It doesn't mean you're living. You're not pushing the boundaries. And too many people live in their comfort zone.
So it's not a question of wealth and money. Money for me is a stepping stone. You get money because people are going to listen to you when you have money. You can do things that the others cannot do. You can acquire more freedom. You can empower more people. It's a stepping stone. Wealth creation is not the goal. It's a stepping stone to get to freedom. And freedom is the ultimate thing.
Yes. Yes. Freedom gives you choice.
Yeah.
Freedom gives you choice. It's like us. We rescue sex trafficked children through our partnership with Destiny Rescue. With this book, everyone who invests in this book, we rescue a child in their name. It's not about the money we're creating for the book. It's what we're doing with the money. That's the critical thing for us, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So this is extremely important. Look, when you make more money, I make more money, and we all benefit.
Yes.
So that's the thing. And to be able to do that, you have to be educated as to how to make more money.
Yes. And how do you get educated? It's books, it's asking questions, it's having conversations with someone like yourself, right?
Is by interacting with people like me.
Yes.
Is by reading more, is by choosing your right friends, is by canceling all the dead wood in your Rolodex. Well, people don't. Oh, they want to connect. They want to collect 30,000 names on LinkedIn. 99% of them are full of shit.
Yes.
They don't have jobs. They don't have money. They don't have resources. They don't have creativity, etc. Like I get so many requests from people. Oh, let's connect and share. I tell them, what do you have to offer? Then I hear crickets. Nothing. 99% of the people don't have anything to offer, or they don't know how to pitch themselves or offer something. I'm not here for a chit chat, for a coffee. Oh yeah, yes, nice talking to you. You're kind, you're sweet. Fuck this shit. What a
Yeah,
waste of time.
that doesn't
I'm not
change
gonna waste
life.
my time with losers like this. I
Yes,
have no
exactly.
tolerance. You have to be ruthless.
Yes,
Stop
yes,
being Mr. Nice Guy. All the
yes.
shit that they taught you at school, you have to be obedient and nice guy and follow the rules and follow the government and listen to Big Brother. It's like they know
Mm,
better. They know shit.
mm.
All
But
what they
that's
want is
following,
more
right?
money,
That's
power,
not
and control.
leading.
Wake the fuck up.
Exactly, exactly. That's not following. That's not leading. That's following, right? They're just listening to what someone else has said and just echoing it out there. It's like people that copy other people's work. That's not original. That's never going to work. So Ziad, I have to ask you, I'd love to share on the show. I reached out to you on LinkedIn and said I'd heard your interview and you agreed for an initial call. What was it that I said or did, or what inspired you to say yes to being on our show today?
I'm sorry, what's your question?
What inspired you when I reached out to you on LinkedIn? You get a lot of approaches and we
Yeah.
agreed to have a call. What actually was the moment where you said, yes, I'll be on the show? Was it something I said? Is it something I've done? What was it?
Because the way you pitched your value proposition, it's this. I mean, some people pitch it, I get a lot of requests for this. I don't believe them. I don't trust them. I have bad vibes. It's the way you pitched it, although you don't have a big, attendance on the JT
Yet.
Fox I got on that
Yes.
on the podcast, 3 million visitors. I don't think we're gonna have this, but that's okay.
Yes.
I never did an interview for somebody in Australia. I said maybe, why not?
There you go.
I'll spend an hour doing that.
Thank you very much. And, everyone starts somewhere. So one of your quotes that I looked up and I really loved, you talk about knowing when to walk away or try harder. Tell us
Yeah.
what that means and how do you know?
How do you know? It's look, I mean, the way you don't get experience until you face a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I read and I will ask you the question in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I read in my life around 300 biographies.
Wow.
From Churchill to Reagan to Trump to Stalin to everybody, business, politics, etc. When you read 300 biographies from all these kind of people, it's like you lived it with them. It's like I met in my life these 300 people. And you derive a lot of experience by doing that, not necessarily meeting them. I don't read fiction books and all this bullshit.
No.
I read real life stories. So I would instinctively react automatically based on a situation because I read so much.
Right.
How would Churchill react? How would this guy react? How would Gandhi react, whether in terms of war? How would this guy react? Because I know these characters intimately, and these are all game changers.
Wow.
It's like I lived with them, all of them, throughout the centuries.
Wow.
It's a tremendous experience. So, having said that, to answer your question, it's really, look, it's all gut feeling, vibes, experience. This is how you answer the question. For every decision, it's true. You either walk away or move forward. And depending on the situation and your experience, being in the trenches, in business, in politics, in everything, you react. You're never 100% sure. You'll always be. Sorry. You'll always be like 70% sure.
Yes.
But 70% is enough.
Yeah, love that. That's just brilliant. It gave me goosebumps. I'm like, that is perfect. You've lived the life through you've got the insights of 300 biographies of all different types of people. And so you'll sit those voices in your mind when you're facing a situation, but then it is that gut instinct or that vibe that you move forward from. But you're leaning on the giants of history. And I think that's why we're so excited about our impact book, is because we're going to get snippets of all these different people from all over the world in a coffee table book, so that we can encourage others to read it and then, again, have those voices of such diverse people in there. And now there must have been times, Ziad, with someone that's reached your level of success, right, and all the years in business and running your company, that moments where, that 70% gut instinct, but actually the situation didn't work out for you. How do you manage it when, we talk about failure or lessons, everyone has them. But what did you do? How fast do you recover? Do you pivot? Do you lean on someone? Do you have a moment where you kind of go, oh my God? Tell us how you deal with it.
Depending on the situation, I cut my losses and move forward.
Okay. How long do you stay in the moment? Do you, if it's a personal thing, of course, a loss of someone you love, that's different. I'm talking in business. If you've lost money, a deal gone wrong, someone you've invested in, it didn't work out, they weren't who you thought. How do you deal with that? How long do you stay in that before you kind of go, right, next?
Well, it depends on the size of the deal, of the nature of the deal, if it's recoverable or not, number of things.
Okay.
There's no standard formula.
Okay. And how important, now that we're in this post-pandemic world, there's a lot of people that are rebuilding and had to pivot and change their complete businesses. How important do you think it is for you to be surrounded? You talked a lot about that network of people around you, and I get that. But how do people surround themselves with people that are creating wealth strategies, not just out there to make a quick buck, right? Not just out there to make today's wages, go home, spend it, make it again tomorrow. People that are investing in wealth generational strategies, which is very different to, someone just trading time for money.
Well, it depends on the people. I mean, for example, when people approach me on LinkedIn and they show me a deal without even introducing themselves, that's a deal killer.
Right.
Goodbye.
So you invest in the person before you invest in the deal. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. I need to know about the person, the experience of the person, the inside gut of a person. I test them by asking them the right questions. It's very easy.
So what is it you look for?
For a long time.
If they don't have the experience, but you can tell that they've put everything on the line, they're driven, they're not going to give up on this because history's showing you other things.
Driven. I don't give a shit about this person.
Okay.
I give a shit about substance. What do they know? What value can they offer? It's all about value. You basically are successful because you're offering value. You have something to offer. Most of the people don't have anything to offer. They want to chit chat and talk about general things. They don't know shit about shit. It doesn't take me a lot to realize this and to see how much substance they have, how deep they are, how thinkers they are, what do they think politically. I do not deal with any liberal, any socialist, any communist, anything like that. No matter how much money they have, they can shove it up there. You have to be in line. They have to be in line with my thinking.
Of course,
There's 7 billion people in the world. I don't care if I lose half of them, billion to that. It's okay. I don't have time to go and try to reconcile this, to convince them of this. I'm not here to convince you. This is who I am. You're not going to change me. I'm not going to change you. If you can't accept this, get the fuck out of my kitchen. Bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's an important lesson for all of us. Like, some people are out there trying to change other people's opinions.
People waste so much time trying to make a relationship happen. For example, when you deal with certain Chinese people, they have to meet you 10 times and having lunch and drinks and all that stuff before they get to know you. I don't have time for this shit.
And go to karaoke.
From the first meeting, I can vet. It's experience. Yes. I can tell you how I got this through the years. I can know that this guy is worth continuing discussions or not.
Yes. And Ziad, your second book, Startup Saboteurs, would you tell everyone about that, why you wrote it and why everyone needs to read it? I mean, I've started reading it already, but tell everyone.
Well, I wrote it because a lot of entrepreneurs don't know anything about building a business, starting a business, nothing. This book will tell you how you build a business, you scale it, you exit, you negotiate a deal. It's very detailed. It's no macro. It's all micro. Here again, to educate people, to make money, to build real businesses, etc. This is the Bible, honestly, of how you want to start a business, build a business, make money, create wealth, create value added, with not 1 ounce of bullshit. I tell you, I share with you personal experiences. I share with you what's happening today in Silicon Valley, in the United States, outside, etc. The history of venture capital, everything. So if you want to read one book about that, if you're starting a business or an entrepreneur, that's the book you should read.
Yes, totally agree, everyone. And we'll drop the links into the show notes.
The difference, and also the difference. A lot of people write books, but they are academics. They're not business people. So
they haven't lived it.
The academics, they pontificate, they know shit.
Yes, so they haven't actually lived it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're out there in the trenches, right? You've actually done it. You're battle tested, as you said. Right? That's so important. You've got the t-shirts, you've done it, you've been shot at, you've dodged bullets, you've recovered and rebuilt. And that's exactly who I believe true entrepreneurs with grit that want to achieve. That's what we need to be filling our minds with. So everyone, we will absolutely drop the links to Ziad's book in the show notes as well. And Ziad, as we wrap up today, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given that really sat with you and changed your life?
I mean, there are a lot of things. It's not like one piece of advice. You have to be very, you have to really look at it from, okay, I mean, I'll give you some piece of advice, okay?
Okay.
Number one, invest in companies you believe in. Reputation is everything. Price and value aren't always the same. Don't pay too much.
Wow.
Be skeptical. If something looks too good to be true, it most likely isn't true. Don't invest in something you don't understand. Don't do a deal with someone you don't trust. Don't buy into a company unless you think it's undervalued. It's really during the hard times that the winners and losers get exposed. I would say also read and think a lot. It really doesn't take a high IQ to be successful in business. Knowledge is more valuable. Be relentless, because you're going to find a lot of obstacles, and 99% of the people will give up. Be patient. Overnight success is 15 years. Stay healthy. Know how to manage stress, because this is a killer. It will kill you before you get successful. These are some of the most salient, important advice I can give.
That's brilliant, Ziad. Thank you. That's such a great way to finish the show. And I know that people are going to listen to this a few times and write all of those down and put them on your wall and live by them, because they are absolutely gold. Ziad, I'm so honored to have you on our show today. Thank you so much for giving up your time and sharing with us. No, I think that's great. I think I've asked you all the things that I felt like I was called to ask you. Is there anything else you would like to share with everyone today?
No, I mean, that's pretty much shared. I mean, everything that you asked me, I was wondering if your audience have any questions. That's all.
We don't do these live. So if there are questions, we'll then, contact you, maybe have you on again. So if you have a question for Ziad, definitely pop it into the show, and we can get him back on maybe in the future and ask him those specific questions. But thank you so much for your time today, Ziad.
No problem. Thank you.